Hello everyone, so today we are going to have examples on distance and displacement. So we will have different word problems involving distance and displacement. So the first example we have here, John travels 250 miles to north, but then backtracks to south for 105 miles to pick up a friend. What is John's total distance and displacement? Okay, so let's start with the given. Okay, your given here is we have 250 miles north. That's the first distance traveled by John. And then the second one, we have 105 miles to south. Okay, so we are going to illustrate the problem. I have here a Cartesian coordinate plane. So let's try to graph first the 250 miles going north. So let's say this is approximately 250 miles. So since the direction is going north, so going up siya ng Cartesian plane natin. And then, after reaching 250 miles, John backtracks to south for 105 miles. So bumalik siya ng south to pick up a friend, 105 miles. Okay. Now, the question is, what is John's total distance? So, gaano kalayo yung na-travel ni John? So, to get your distance, let's indicate distance as letter D, small letter D. We are just going to add your two travel distance. So you add 250 miles plus 105 miles. Okay. So the total distance traveled by John is equivalent to 350 miles. Okay. Now we already have your distance. Now what about John's displacement? So to get John's displacement, let's indicate your displacement as S and then arrow sa top. Okay? So why we have this arrow? It's because displacement is a vector. Now in getting your displacement, we have to consider your sign. Okay, so since the 250 miles is going up, so it takes positive sign, positive 250 miles. And then 105 miles is going south, so this is plus negative 105 miles. Okay, and then you plug in this in your calculator, you will have 250 miles plus negative 105 miles. So you will get 145 miles. Now what is the direction? You get the direction of the given with a higher magnitude. Okay, so since the 250 miles is mas malaki kay 150 miles, and then your 250 miles is going north, so we will have your direction as north. Or you can write your answer also in positive 145 miles. So both of these answers are correct. Yung pinagkaiba lang, when you indicate north, ibig sabihin, papunta siya dun sa north. And then when you indicate positive, it is considered also na yung direction ni John is going up or going north. Okay, so these two answers are correct. Okay, so another example we have here, if a car travels east for 5 kilometers and takes a turn to travel north for another 8 kilometers, the total distance traveled by the car is, and then what is its displacement? Okay, so first let's start with the given. Your given here is 5 kilometers going east and then 8 kilometers going north. So what we are going to look for is your distance and your displacement. Okay. So we'll try to draw first your problem. I have here your Cartesian plane, y, or your y-axis with north and south, and then your x-axis with your east and west. So first, the car traveled 5 kilometers going to the east. So let's say this is 5 kilometers going to the east, and then 8 kilometers going north. 8 kilometers going north. So let's say this is 8 kilometers going north. Okay. Now find the distance first. So in solving your distance, you just add the two paths traveled by your car. So 5 kilometers plus 8 kilometers. Okay. Now you will get 13 kilometers. So this is now your distance. Now what about your displacement? Okay. So your displacement here is from your starting point and then your final point. This is the shortest path that could be traveled by the car, or this is how far the car is from its original position. Okay, so to solve for S, or to solve for your displacement, we will have your Pythagorean theorem. So let's call this one your side y, and then let's call this your x. Okay, so to solve for that, we are going to use your Pythagorean theorem. Again, your Pythagorean theorem is equivalent to c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Okay, this is your Pythagorean theorem given that you have a right triangle. Okay, so for example, this is a right triangle. This is your C, this is your A, and then this is your B. Okay, so to get for the value of C, you have this equation, your Pythagorean theorem, and then you transpose it. Tanggalin natin si squared dito. So if you remove the squared here, your equation becomes C is equal to square root of A squared plus B squared. Okay? So tanggalin natin to C squared para makuha si value ni C. So in that case, you have to square both sides. Okay, so square natin ito, you will have C is equal to square root of A squared plus B squared. So this is your Pythagorean theorem. Okay, Pythagorean theorem ang tawag siya. Okay, so let's apply your Pythagorean theorem in this problem. So to get your displacement, you will have square root of x squared plus y squared. Okay, so let's plug in now the given values. Let's say this is your x, and then this is your y. Okay, that's a given. So you write x, that's 5 squared plus 8 squared. So square root of 5 squared plus 8 squared. You will get 9.43. Okay, so your displacement here is 9.43. Don't forget the unit. That's kilometer. And then, what about now your direction? Okay? So, ito, magnitude pa lang ito siya. Okay, wala pang direction. Now, how to get your direction? We will use your trigonometric functions. Okay? So, dito na i-apply si SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so in this case, what we are going to use is si TOA. Okay? So we have tangent theta. Okay, ito yan siya. This is what we are going to solve for to get your direction. Is equal to opposite over adjacent. Okay. What is the opposite side? That's y, and then your adjacent side is x. Y over x. Okay. And then you will get your y is 8 divided by 5. 8, 1.6. So your tan theta is equal to 1.6. Okay. Tapos, to get your theta, you have your inverse tan, and then 1.6. Okay. So dito, na-observe niyo na wala si km kasi ma-cancel out lang din naman siya. Okay. So wala kang units for this one. So solve, that's tan inverse 1.6. You will have 57.99 degrees. So this is now degrees. Okay, so your final answer here in this problem is now s squared, s, or your displacement is equivalent to 9.43 kilometers, and then your angle is 57.99 degrees. So this is now your displacement. Okay? Si distance natin is only 13 kilometers. So ito na yung dalawa ninyong answer for this problem. Okay, so for the next example, we have here, a ship is asked to drop a package to the neighboring harbor in a given period of time. The ship travels 20 kilometers north first and then takes a right and travels 50 kilometers and reaches the harbor before the allotted time. Calculate the distance and displacement traveled by the ship. Okay, so first let's start with your given. Let's write your given. Okay, we have 20 kilometers north, and then the ship takes a right and travels 50 kilometers. So 50 kilometers. Your right is, this is your right, so it goes to the east. So we will illustrate now the problem. Have here 20 kilometers north. Okay, this is 20 kilometers north. Okay, and then 50 kilometers east. So let's say this is your first distance traveled, and then this is your second distance now you travel. So we are going to look for your distance and displacement. Okay, so to look for your distance, just add the two distance traveled. You have 20 km plus 50 km. So that's 70 kilometers. So this is now your distance. Now what about your displacement? Okay, so your displacement, you start with how far you are from your starting point. So this is the displacement of the ship. This is how far the ship is from your original point or your starting point. Okay, so we are going to solve this one. This is your S. So let's call this one your Y and then this one your X. So to solve for your displacement, again, we are going to use your Pythagorean theorem. This is the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so we are going to use again this relationship. So we have S is equivalent to, or sorry, your magnitude of S. So wala mo nang arrows sa itaas kasi magnitude. Ulit. So this is S is equal to square root of your x squared plus y squared. Okay, your x squared here is 50 km plus 20 squared. So let's have here square root of 50 squared plus 20 squared. You have 53.85. So let's write here 53.85 kilometers. Now what about the direction? Okay, so for the direction, again, we are going to use your SOHCAHTOA, but I will only use your tan theta or your TOA. Opposite over adjacent. Okay, which is equivalent to y, I'm sorry, your opposite now here is y over x. Okay, saan yung theta na kukunin natin? Let's say this is your theta. Okay, so the opposite for theta, ito siya, this is equivalent, parehas na yan sila, equal lang yung measurement nito. So you can call also this as your y. And then from this point to this point, this is also equivalent to your x. Okay, so your opposite here is y, and then your adjacent is x. Okay, you plug in the values. Your y is 20 over. So tan theta is equivalent to 0.4. Okay. So to get the angle, you have your tan inverse and then 0.4. Okay. So tan inverse 0.4, you will get 21.8. So 21.8 degrees. Okay. So you write your final answer now is displacement is equivalent to 53.85 kilometers, 21.8 degrees. So this is now your displacement, and then ito si distance ninyo. So you now have answer for this problem. Answers for this problem. Okay, we'll proceed with the next example. So the next example is, a physics teacher walks 4 meters east, 2 meters south, 4 meters west, and finally 2 meters north. Calculate the distance and displacement of the teacher. Okay, so let's start with the given. So the first one, you have 4 meters east, 2 meters south, 4 meters west, and then 2 meters north. We will have your 4 meters east, 2 meters south, 4 meters west, and then 2 meters north. So, ayan. para mas clear yung distance. So this is 4m, 2m, 4m. Okay, now what is the distance traveled by the teacher? So in getting your distance, you simply add these four values, 4m plus 2m plus 4m plus 2m. So you will get 12 meters. So yun na yung distance ni teacher. Now what about the displacement of the teacher? Now again, the displacement is the distance from your starting point and then your final point. Kung saan ka nag-start or your origin and then your final position. Kung saan ka nag-stop. So since si teacher, bumalik siya dun sa dati niyang, sa starting position niya, your displacement is actually 0. Okay? So, in this case, wala siyang direction. At the same time, wala siyang magnitude. It's equal to 0. It's because the teacher went back to its original position. Okay? So that's all for today. Those are the examples for distance and displacement. Basically, these are all connected dun sa review on math tools natin where we have used the trigonometric functions, your Pythagorean theorem, yes, and then application lang siya nung concepts na yon. And then I hope you understand the topic. And if you have questions, clarifications, and suggestions, please don't hesitate to send me a message. And then thank you everyone. God bless and excel at all times.